So I literally just got done watching the first episode of Mandalorian Season 2, and oh my god, it was so... I'm not going to try to cuss very much on this channel, but it was so fucking awesome. This is my quick flash review. Let's just get straight to it. So that intro, that intro was so awesome. You know, Mandalorian and Baby Yoda are walking in, and then there's Gamorreans. I don't think we've seen Gamorreans since Return of the Jedi, back in 1983. The Gamorreans with those big ol' axes. It reminded me of like World of Warcraft. Giant axes, bam, hitting each other. And then that cool fight at the end. Then after, you know, Mando took care of him, you know, it's that piano key hit, and dude, that was just so dope. And then how we chased like the leader of the gang outside, hung him, shot out the lights, and all those things. Their eyes lit up, and he starts screaming. That intro was so awesome and so Star Wars. You know, it was just, the next thing I really liked was Baby Yoda. It's a really small scene, but it's like a dog. You know, when a dog sticks his head out the window, you know, Baby Yoda sticking his head outside of the speeder when they're going into the desert. That was super cool. Okay, I really love the character of the Marshal. He's super cool. I think he's played by Timothy Olyphant. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Probably not, but a super cool character. At first, he comes across as an adversary to the Mandalorian, but then they ended up, you know, the classic duo to team up to fight a larger villain. And you know, when he came in at first with Boba Fett's armor and his helmet, I got chills, straight up chills. Then when he sat down and he took the helmet off and he put it on the table, and it started to pan into his face, we're like, oh my god, are we going to see Boba Fett? Are we going to see Boba Fett? What a letdown! But the chills that I got, that was so cool. You know, it was. You know, one thing I really liked was that, you know, we saw the other side of the Return of the Jedi. Again, I'm bringing up Return of the Jedi again. We got the Gamorreans at first, and now, you know, it showed, you know, all the people of that little town, most Parga or something. They were watching the explosion of the second Death Star when it happened, and everyone got excited, woohoo, woohoo! But then immediately a power vacuum happened, and we had a bad gang of people come in and take over that town and turn them into slaves, and they shot them up. And so it was really good for Star Wars because it showed the other side. It wasn't just, you know, at the Return of the Jedi when the Ewoks and everyone's throwing a party, and then it pans to Coruscant and all the different places around the galaxy where everyone's happy that the Empire is gone, because the reality of it is the Empire is gone, yeah, and that's great. But now there's a power vacuum, and not everyone that takes up those spaces is going to be good. You know, there was probably a lot of bad and a lot of people that got hurt because the Empire left, because the Empire was a source of stability. You know, so it was really, it was good to see that Star Wars is showing the other sides of the story. You know, it wasn't a good thing that happened, but it was good that, you know, we saw there was some levity to the story. Like, oh my God, the Empire is gone, but look at what just happened. You know, should we have even done that? You know, was it a good thing overall? You know, because there were a lot of people on those Death Stars also. I really liked seeing the pod racer and hearing the pod racer sound. The Marshal was on the pod racer alongside Mandalorian and I keep wanting to say Boba Fett, Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. That pod racer, that was a throwback to episode 1. I really love that. The Sand People, it was so cool to see him, the Mandalorian, speaking with the Sand People, and you know, seeing the Marshal and the Mandalorian and the Sand People work together. You know, there's some tension, but all three parties are coming together for the better good, for the better of all of them to, you know, take down the Krayt Dragon. That was super cool to see them all, you know, come together. And more Sand People, the better. Tatooine, I mean, come get out of here. See the Krayt Dragon, or not the first scene, but the second scene where I loved the scene. It reminded me a little bit of a horror movie. This big giant hole, and then the one lone sand person walking with, I think, with their bantha to put it as bait. And of course, the bantha doesn't get eaten; it's the sand person. But just that scene of that dark hole and the anticipation and the fear in your gut of, you know, what's going to come out of there, you know, and then, you know, it comes out. That was just an awesome scene, because it was super epic, and this giant hole, it's really mysterious, and it had, to me, it had some horror elements to it, and I really like that. I think that this one episode of Mandalorian had more character development for the character of the Marshal than the entire Disney trilogy did for Finn. Because very shortly after the Marshal is, you know, basically being very antagonistic towards the Sand People, he defends one against the townspeople when they're working together to start, you know, getting their supplies together to go take on this dragon. You know, he defends the Sand People when just a few minutes ago, or, you know, whatever time in the story ago, he was being very antagonistic towards the Sand People. So it was, I really love this character of the Marshal, and I think he's going to come back. But, you know, it's just disappointing that one awesome episode of this Mandalorian, you know, the Marshal, one side character, gets more development than Finn did in the entire trilogy. And I blame you, Rian Johnson, for that. Okay, I guess the last thing that we're going to talk about is the, well, there's two more things we're going to talk about. One is really juicy, but the Crate Dragon fight, that was super cool. I really loved it when the Marshal and the Mandalorian used their jetpacks to shoot up and to fight the Crate Dragon on top of the mountain. And it looked like the dragon looked cool. I was hoping that we would see the dragon in its full. I was really hoping there was going to be some payoff and it would come out of the sand completely. That's okay, it didn't. The whole fight scene was really cool. It was just an awesome action scene, cool big monster. There's one more thing we got to talk about. Boba Fett is in this episode at the very end. I can't remember the actor's name, but Boba Fett without his mask. He's watching the Mandalorian ride off with the armor that he acquired from the Marshal after helping defeat the dragon and defend the town. There's Boba Fett. That was so cool to see, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I read them all. I'd be happy to discuss what your thoughts on the episode 1 of season 2 of Mandalorian were. And then also as an update for this channel, right now I'm going through some changes. I got a new camera, as you can tell. I still have to play with it. I got some new lighting I need to adjust, but basically I'm taking this channel from here to here in quality, and that's why I haven't been posting very much, and I look forward to posting some more. So that's just what's going on with the channel. Anyway, peace.